Good morning, everyone. My name is Miss Esco, and I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about cell theory. Before we actually get into the cell theory, I am going to take a few moments to talk to you about general internet safety. So you want to always be careful and smart when you're using all types of technology. And I know some of you may have heard this before, but it is very important, so it's a great reminder. So all types of technology, by that I mean your cell phone, your Chromebook, your iPad in the classroom, a laptop computer, any device that you can get on the internet, you want to take precaution and be careful with how you're using it. All content that goes onto the internet can be seen forever. And that means that you don't want to post or send or receive anything that you wouldn't be comfortable having your parent, a teacher, or even your future grandkids see. Even if you delete it, it is still there. And that's why you want to be very careful and smart with what you are posting and receiving. Some more guidelines. When you're making a password, you want to make it unique and very hard to guess. You also want to change it often. It's very tempting sometimes when you're needing to make a password and you're in a rush to get on something to do something like the example in this picture and just do like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that is going to make you very vulnerable to a hacker or someone else who you don't want access to your content to easily see it. You never want to share your personal information. Now in our lessons and when we're using our technology here at the school, you will have no reason to ever post any of your personal information. And by that I mean your name, your full name, phone number, address, etc. So at school you should never have any need to do this, but you also want to do that at home as well. The content, we will be doing a lot of research and sharing our findings with technology in this lesson, and then I'm sure most of your classes. And when you use the content that you post, if it didn't come directly from you, if it's not a unique idea that came from your mind, you're going to have to use a copyright, a citation, and references. And we'll get more into exactly how to do that when the time comes, but just know that that is, if it's not just your idea, that you are going to have to credit the source. As far as ethics, we use a word called netiquette when we're talking about the cyber world. You may also hear digital citizenship, and that is just being responsible and respectful when you are working in the online or digital world. You want to have no cheating, of course, and it kind of goes without saying, no cyberbullying. As far as using the technology specifically in the classroom, your school technology, what you're using while you're here on site in the classroom, is only for your schoolwork. You're not going to be using it for any personal use, no texting of a personal nature or taking pictures or things like that. It's not related to your schoolwork. Students are going to be responsible for any damage that occurs to the technology due to misuse. Of course, accidents do happen, but you are financially responsible for any damage that you cause to technology that is owned by the school. We all have, every student in this class has an iPad, and you're going to be using that as needed, like I said, for this project as well as others for your individual exercises and research. For this lesson and others, microscopes are going to be the only resource that we are going to have to share. There's not enough microscopes for everyone to have one, so we're going to be sharing that, and each group is going to have a scheduled 30-minute time slot to review the slides. And that's going to allow all of us to have equal time and equal access to the microscopes. For this lesson, all the work is going to be done in class, so you're not going to have any homework, so that's always good news. So now let's get into the actual content of cell theory. We're going to start with a lesson or an exercise about mind mapping. We're going to be looking at what do all living things have in common. So you're gonna work, I've listed the instructions that we're gonna follow for this. 1, 2, and 3, we're gonna work individually on our iPads, and we're going to be using MindMeister. And you have used that before. It's an app that's on all of your iPads. So we're going to use that to brainstorm a list of characteristics that all living things have in common. There are no wrong answers. I know you've done brainstorming exercises before, and I believe most of you have used MindMeister before. So you're just going to work individually on your iPad, like I said, and there is no wrong answer. You're just going to brainstorm anything that comes to you as far as what all living things have in common. After we get done with that, we're going to work as a class, and we're going to create a list on the board. So each person is going to pick one thing from their brainstorming list, and we're going to write it on the board. And just so we don't have any duplicates, if you've got the same thing as someone else, you'll pick something else from your list until we have a class list on the board that we have come up with as far as what all living things have in common. And the final step, we're going to break out into small groups of 2 to 4 students, and we are going to discuss and narrow down the class list to just 3 items. So you will break out into groups of 2 to 4. You will be able to pick your own group, and you're going to look at our class list, and you're going to pick the top 3. You're going to discuss it to narrow it down to just 3 items, and then we're going to share those. And after we get done with this exercise, we will begin talking about why we did that and how it relates to cell theory. So we're going to go ahead and get started.